name is Rithvik. As you all know, September is Mission Month. Today, I get a chance to talk about one of the greatest missionaries. His name is Robert Caldwell. Only last week, I got a chance to meet him. I really wondered about his mission work in South India. God really blessed South India through this particular missionary. He did a lot of great things. Let me tell you about him. His name is Reverend Dr.Robert Caldwell. Robert Caldwell was one of the Christian missionaries of South India. He was born near Belfast in Ireland, in which he was the seventh child. His father, William, was a Catholic, and his mother, Isabel, was from a Glasgow family with strong religious and commercial connections in that city. Robert's siblings included 4 spinster sisters and 2 surviving brothers, both of whom eventually established successful businesses in Glasgow. He trained as an artist for 3 years in Dublin, where he attended an independent chapel and was exposed to the piety of the Church of Ireland. Despite some success with his painting, he gave up that career to give himself to God. Returning to his family home in Glasgow, he studied at the University of Glasgow. He proved to be a brilliant student. He was ordained as a minister at his church in Glasgow, and after 4 months at sea, arrived in Madras, January 1838. In 1837, Robert Caldwell, on setting off from Glasgow to sail to India, kissed his mother goodbye. He knew he would never see his parents again, and that if he survived, he was unlikely to return home for 20 years. He arrived in Madras, now Chennai of South India, on 8 January 1838, at his 24th year. As a missionary of the London Missionary Society, Caldwell had always been a ferocious reader, memorably read, and had an extraordinary gift for language. In Madras, he not only learned Tamil, but was so attracted by the beauty of the language that he also explored its rich literature and poetry. In the process, he became familiar with many of the other languages of the region. He even learned German. After 4 years working in Madras, he transferred for the propagation of the gospel. Like those early German missionaries, he felt he could do most good by ministering not to the privileged in the towns and European settlements, but to the poorest and most isolated rural communities. In his case, this was in the southernmost district of Madras, Chinnavelli. On his way south, Caldwell decided to travel on foot. His journey took him first to Nilgiri Hills to visit George Spencer, the bishop of Madras, where he was made a deacon. He then traveled on to Madurai, Chinnavelli, and finally to his mission station at Idiyangudi. He arrived there in December 1841, having covered over 800 miles on foot since leaving Madras, walking in the morning and evening, and for the last part of his journey during the rainy season. Caldwell realized that he had to be proficient in Tamil to reach the Tamil people, and he began a systematic study of the language. He took up his abode at Idiyangudi, and his first labor was to lay the foundations of a parochial system by obtaining the establishment of boundaries between the fields of the Church Missionary Society and of the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel. He found the people in a very low state of civilization, and successfully promoted education among them by establishing schools for boys and girls. He had to walk many miles on sandy tracks under the sun to reach his people. Most of them were grindingly poor, being dependent almost entirely on the products of the Palmyra trade. Widespread famine, flood, and virulent epidemics were occasional visitors. In July 1877, a severe drought caused famine in Trinidad. Then, just as it was subsiding, the same districts were struck by heavy rain and destructive floods. This whole disaster lasted for 7 months. Caldwell and his missionaries were seen on the ground through this terrible time, helping to relieve distress without favoring any religion. Caldwell built a church in 1880 at Idiyangudi in Chinnavelli district. The ringing bells of that church were brought from London for the church. Bishop Robert Caldwell, the father of the Dravidian languages, spent most of his time here as a missionary, and the village is predominantly Christian. It took him 33 years to build this church. married Eliza Malt in 1844 and they had 7 children. Miss Eliza Malt worked for more than 40 years in Travancore and Trinidad Valley, helping the vulnerable, especially the Tamil woman. She assisted him greatly in his mission work, being peculiarly fitted to do so by knowledge of Tamil. She found herself living in a remote village among poverty-stricken in one of the hottest districts of India, shaded only by the tall palmyra trees standing on red and fertile sand. Her example was followed in other missions in Trinidad Valley district, notably at Nazareth. Soon after her arrival at Indian, Eliza expanded the girls' day school, set up by her husband, into a boarding school, and with it also took over control of the existing boys' boarding school. It was the beginning of a long campaign, which Eliza and Robert waged to improve the prospects of native girls and through them convince their families of the value of education. Their campaign continued, unabated, in the following years, while Eliza gave birth to 4 sons and 3 daughters. Indeed, by the 1860s, her 2 elder daughters, Isabella and Louisa, were working alongside their mother and superintending the boarding and day schools that she and Robert had set up by then. Caldwell became a bishop and served as the bishop at Trinidad Valley and did much original research on the history of Trinidad Valley. Caldwell's intellect, wit, and facility with words gave extraordinary power to his pen. Today, people still find evidence of his tireless research work. He even went through palm leaf manuscripts in his search. His finds were in the Corte Museum until 2002 when it had to close. All this literacy effect had unforeseen effects. It helped to give a linguistic and cultural identity to the Tamils in particular, which they were quick to embrace. It brought thousands into the Christian church, giving them access to education. In effect, Caldwell launched a Dravidian movement, but it was much broader than he ever thought, now widely known as the Tamil Renaissance. It has had a profound effect across all faiths of this region. In this transformation, Caldwell's role as a pioneer Dravidian linguist was acknowledged in 1968 when a statue was erected on Mariana Beach at Chennai, Madras. In 2010, the government of Tamil Nadu paid this 19th century foreign missionary the considerable compliment of issuing a postage stamp in his memory. At the end of his last visit to England, when friends tried to persuade the old missionary to remain at home, his reply illustrates his affection for the people of Tamil Nadu. I wish to die amongst the people for whom I've lived. And in 1891, after half a century of labor, his wish was fulfilled. Robert, Caldwell, and Eliza buried beneath the chancel of Holy Trinity, Indian, the church which he took 32